Good evening, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us. My name is David Wright. I'm the Associate Director of Corporate Services, and I'm going to begin this meeting as chair. As one of the first orders of business is to elect the new chair. But I will get into that in just a minute. I'll call the meeting to order and begin with our land acknowledgement. The Durham District School Board acknowledges that many Indigenous nations have long-standing relationships, both historic and modern, with the territories upon which our school board and schools are located. Today, this area is home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. We acknowledge that the Durham region forms a part of the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, the Mississauga peoples, and the treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation. It is on these ancestral lands that we teach, learn, and live. And so if I may call for any declarations of conflict of interest, please. And seeing none, we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Can I have a mover, please? Thank you, Carolyn. Seconder. Thank you, Scott. Any additions to the agenda or changes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thanks very much. The agenda is carried as presented. And now we'll move to the election of the Audit Committee Chair. And before we do that, perhaps introductions would be in order. And so Leslie and Olafunke are two external Audit Committee members. This evening, we are welcoming Carolyn Morton and Scott Templeton, both trustees with DDSB. We've had a little bit of a turnover in the trustee ranks, and so Carolyn and Scott have graciously agreed to join the Audit Committee for the last two meetings of this trustee term. And so this evening, why don't we do a better introduction than that? Carolyn and Scott and Donna, of course, our trustee reps, Leslie and Olafunke. Maybe I'll allow everybody just to do a quick, or ask everybody just to do a quick introduction. Carolyn, we'll start with you.
I need to remember to unmute myself, don't I? Carolyn Morton, I've been a trustee for a number of years, and I look forward to serving on this committee.
Thanks very much, Carolyn. Scott?
Scott Templeton, Whitby School Board trustee, and just completing my first term as a trustee. I look forward to helping out where I can.
Thanks very much, Scott. And Donna, we'll go through everybody, even though you've met everyone.
Thank you. Donna Edwards, trustee for Ajax, and I guess my camera's not working.
Thanks very much, Donna. Olafunke?
Yeah, I'm Olufunke Majabi, an external member of the Audit Committee of the DDSB.
Thanks very much. And Leslie?
Hi, everyone. I'm Leslie Miller, also an external member of the Audit Committee. Glad to be here in support.
Thanks very much. And so there are other people attending the meeting who will be participating. And so we'll complete the introductions maybe as we go. So when it's your turn to speak to an agenda item, maybe you can just introduce yourself for the benefit of the new members. Thank you. And so we will move to the election of the chair, and the term of this chair will be the meeting this evening, as well as the meeting on November 10th. We'll tackle our financial statements. And just a reminder, any of the 5 Audit Committee members can chair this committee. And I've received no nominations in advance, so we'll be winging it here. Please feel free to nominate yourself or to nominate another member of the committee. So happy to open the floor now to nominations. Carolyn?
I would nominate Donna Edwards to chair the meeting.
Thanks very much, Carolyn. Donna, are you comfortable letting your name stand as chair or for chair?
Yes, I'm comfortable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. and I will call for nominations a couple more times. Are there any other nominations? Are there any further nominations? And seeing no other nominations, I will declare the nominations ended, and Donna, acclaim you as chair. Congratulations. Much appreciate your support chairing the committee for the next couple of meetings. And with that, happy to turn the chair over to you. Thanks.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the approval, the approval of the minutes of November 8th from the Audit Committee public meeting minutes. Is there any errors or omissions that people would want to bring forward? Seeing or hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Carolyn Morton, seconder. I'm not sure if you guys have been doing seconders. I can't remember. I was in one meeting, but I'm going to do it anyways for now. Have a seconder. Scott, all of those in favor? Approved, thank you. Okay, then moving on to the next item on the agenda, back to you, Associate Director Wright, on the annual agenda plan.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. The annual plan is on page 3 of your report. It provides a little detail in advance of what we can expect at the coming audit committee meetings. It is not necessarily comprehensive. Items can certainly be added as required, and items may not be required in the same vein on an ongoing basis. So it's just a general guideline of what we can expect over the course of the coming meetings. Happy to answer any questions that that folks might have. Thanks.
Questions? Nobody has any questions for you, David? Okay. I'm sure that if you do have some questions later on, I'm sure that David will be able to answer them, or staff will be able to answer the questions on the plan. Do we need an approval of the plan? Just because it doesn't say, it just says agenda item to approve. It doesn't say actually approval of the plan.
It's just coming to you for information, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to the committee report to the Board of Trustees. David, please.
Thanks very much, Madam Chair. So there are 2 reports. We're going through both of them this evening. That the regulation that governs audit committees 361.10 requires the audit committee to provide on an annual basis. This first report is a little bit more detailed, and it is a report of the activities of the audit committee for the previous year to be presented to the Board of Trustees. So this is a report that that only goes to the board and does not get sent in to the Ministry of Education. Really, it's just factual information about the workings of the committee and what was presented to the committee over the year. So if there's any questions on that, happy to answer them for you.
Any questions on the report? I know some of us worked on the committee, so it's difficult to have questions on the report because we weren't involved with it at the time. So seeing no questions on the report, we'll move on to the next item, and then it's the annual audit committee report to the Ministry of Education.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So this is the second of the 2 reports that the audit committee is required to put together based on legislation. This one does go to the Ministry of Education. It is a little less detailed. You'll notice it's attached to this report as Appendix A on page 10 and speaks to the work that was performed by the Regional Internal Audit Team as well as the work that is intended to be carried out in the coming year. Pretty straightforward. Happy to answer any questions if there are any. Thanks.
Again, any questions? Seeing none. Thank
And
you, David.
apologies. Thanks very much,
Sorry.
Madam Chair. I apologize. Those two do require motions.
Okay.
The motions are included in the report. So with your indulgence, if we can go back to
Okay.
the first one, the recommendation is on page 5 of your package, section 8.
Okay, so yes, I see that. There's a recommendation. Okay, so can I have somebody move the motion as a recommendation, the audit committee approve the annual audit committee report to the Board of Trustees for the year ending August 31st, 2022, to be presented to the Board of Trustees at the October board meeting. I have a motion. Scott, seconder, Carolyn, all those in favor? Thank you. Motion is approved. And then we move on to the report to the Ministry of Education. So that somebody moved the recommendation. It is recommended the audit committee approve the annual audit committee report to the Ministry of Education for the year ending August 31st, 2022, to present to the Board of Trustees at the October board meet. Oops, wrong one. There's the same one? No. Yes, it is. Sorry. Thank you. Can I have a motion that somebody to bring that motion forward, please? Carolyn.
I do.
All funky, thank you. And all in favor? All right. Is there any other business? Okay. So the next meeting is November 10th, 2022. So this is then we adjourn this one and then we go into the private session, my understanding.
That's okay, Madam Chair.
Okay, so the next meeting is November 10th. And as we completed the business on the agenda, the meeting has been adjourned. And we will then move into the private session.